Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 9 of our free 30-day, 10th actually, Get Up and Go challenge. Today is day 9, and we're going to talk about, yesterday we looked at, hopefully you did this already, because we're going to use what we learned yesterday about ourselves today to flip around and switch out of the way we automatically respond to things and use a tool called the flip switch that I learned from a wonderful woman by the name of Lynn Grabhorn from her book, Excuse Me, Your Life is Waiting. I think that's right. Excuse Me, Your Life is Waiting. Or, I don't know. Anyway, I've shared it before, and I don't have it sitting here. It's over on the couch because I want to go through the workbook that goes along with that book. And it takes me a good solid year every time I decide I'm going to go through that workbook. It's pretty deep work from a mental and emotional and dealing with things from the past type standpoint. It's a little woo-woo for a lot of people. It was a little woo-woo for me until my sudden cardiac arrest in 2010. And ever since then, nothing is really too woo-woo. That's not true. There are things that are still too woo-woo for me. So yesterday, we looked at our current change reaction process. We looked at what do we do now? How do we approach change? And what I did, because I knew I was heading into day 9 and we were going to change my reaction, is I wrote down some of my thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. And I'll share those quickly with you, and I'll apply the flip switch to some of them, and then some of them I'll do tonight as part of my homework, just like you will. But what we're going to do today is we're going to take the feelings, the thoughts, the emotions, the actions, the strategies, or the lack of action that we normally take, or our instinctual way of responding to changes and challenges and obstacles and failures and setbacks and whatever you call them. And we're going to, just as easily as flipping a switch on and off, I should have grabbed a switch, but I didn't. Just as easily, because it's pretty easy to flip a switch on and off, right? Just as easily as that, we can flip to the opposite side, or it's like flipping a coin. We can flip a coin. Of course, I don't have any coins here either. I've got some French coins. We can flip a coin and flip to the other side of that coin. It's as easily as flipping a switch. The coin is the same energy, the same value on no matter what side you're looking at, but we have a totally different reaction, a totally different way of behaving, depending on what side of the coin we're looking at, depending on what side of the situation, depending on what way we're flipping the switch. So for example, I put a whole lot of things on my list of how I automatically or used to respond to making changes. So I listed in the left-hand column, my left, but probably you're right. Anyway, I listed all of the ways, the words that would quickly describe how I would automatically respond to a change or a challenge. That's my old way. And then in another column, I'm going to create another column that's the new way I could possibly respond or react to this particular feeling or thought or belief. Now, what I do in the meantime, how do I get from old to new, is I just flip the switch. I ask myself, and I think we talked about this when we talked about what do we want versus what do we don't want. By taking the opposite of what we don't want, we're flipping the switch to what we do want. It's just taking the opposite of something. So let's look at my list now, and I'll do a couple on the fly here so you know what I mean. So I've got resist. So my old way, my old change process, I would resist. I would be like, yeah, no, not going to happen. What's the opposite of resisting? Well, accepting, right? I guess I should write these down. Accepting, right? I can accept what happened. I don't have to agree with it, but instead of resisting, I can accept it. Doesn't mean I'm going to go along with it. It just means I'm a slightly better feeling and slightly closer to taking action. Deny or disbelief, I put accept what is. Believe, the opposite of disbelief is, of course, belief. Open my mind, face facts. I can ignore what's going on. Well, when I'm ignoring, what's the opposite of ignoring? Pay attention. I can complain, and instead of complaining, I could compliment. The opposite of complaining is a compliment, right? I'm looking at the negative or I'm looking at the positive. I can be a victim. Instead of being a victim, I can choose to be a victor. How can I see myself as a winner in this situation? How can I make sure I'm a winner in this situation? If I'm upset, I can look for calm, peace. If I'm angry or negative, I can look for the positive. I can be unruffled. If I'm looking for a way out, I can look for a way to take responsibility. The opposite of looking for a way out or making excuses is to take action and take responsibility for what's going on. I procrastinate. The opposite of procrastination is to take action, so I act now. If I want to whine, bitch, or moan, again, I can find things to compliment and not complain about, because I think that complimenting is the opposite of complaining, which is also the opposite of whining, bitching, and moaning. I can do nothing. What's the opposite of that? I can do something. I can take some action. If I want to escape, I can get engaged. I can get involved. If I want to... Sorry about that. If I want to escape in different activities, for example, TV, food, drugs, alcohol, I don't know, gambling, shopping, whatever is your escape vice. Mine is, movies. I watch movies when I want to escape, or read books. But reading books is a kind of a positive, so I think that's perfectly fine to read books when I'm escaping. But what's the opposite of those things? Well, take care of myself. Just say no to drugs, I put. Alcohol in moderation. Opposite of TV, I put, instead of that, read or look for active problem solving. What if I freeze and I just want to do nothing? Well, I just take one step, one single step in the direction I want to go. So that's the kind of thing we're going to do, is we're going to look at those things. Now, what are some of the beliefs and things I used to have? And I'll just share these. I won't do the opposite yet. But mine was, my initial question, I don't know if I've shared this or not, but it was WTF. And if you don't know what WTF is, you need to ask me in the comments below, because I'm not going to say it. But that was my first initial response. Well, what's the opposite of that? What I created as the opposite of that is, instead of asking myself, WTF, what's going on here? I would, and if I wasn't looking at it clearly, I would say, okay, well, what am I creating now by looking at this the way I'm looking at it? This is not happening, which is denial, right? This is unbelievable. Have anybody had any of these thoughts in the last year besides me? This isn't happening. This is unbelievable. I hate change. I can't handle change. What's the opposite of that? Well, think about the times that you have successfully navigated any type of change or challenge. You obviously have the ability in you to handle it. That's just one of those beliefs that are lies that we tell ourselves. I don't know what to do is another one of those. So often we tell ourselves we don't know what to do, and we absolutely positively know what to do. We just maybe don't want to do it. And the remedy to that is just to take a single action, one little tiny baby step toward what you want. I can't figure it out. Again, another lie we tell ourselves. I'll just wait it out and see what happens. Again, procrastination, take action, or this won't last. I think these are pretty common beliefs that I had and a lot of people have had when the whole COVID pandemic started, right? Or with all the political nonsense that's going on in the United States. I still have some of these thoughts, and so I need to flip the switch out of inaction into action, out of denial into acceptance, out of complaining or whining or pointing out what's negative, wrong, to positive, focusing on solutions, etc. So our action item today is to do this with your list of things from yesterday. Flip the switch and see what the opposite is, or just a slightly better feeling step. And then share in the comments below just one thing, one tiny thing that you would like to change in the way you currently deal with challenges and changes and setbacks, obstacles, whatever you call them. And tomorrow we are going to jump right into the SOAP framework. We'll do an overview of the SOAP framework tomorrow. We've laid the foundation. I'll give you a quick summary of what we've done so far, and then we will dive right into the SOAP framework tomorrow. And then the day after, we're going to start applying it so that you can have an opportunity to apply it in every area and aspect of your life. So by the end of this month, by the end of this challenge, it will be as easy as breathing for you to encounter and deal with changes and challenges. They'll all be installed in your subconscious. All right, that's it. Any questions about how to do this, how to flip switch, hit me up. Otherwise, go do this, share in the comments below, and I'll be with you tomorrow.